Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Maxwell Lumumba Africa, and today we are going to discuss about Claris is now independent. Why doesn't the drama end? There has been a lot of discussion online about whether there could be a legal dispute involving the use of Claris past videos and images on African village life channel. Personally, I think people may be getting ahead of themselves from what is publicly known. Claris willingly to participate in those videos at that time they were recorded. Whether there was a written agreement, a verbal agreement, or no formal agreement at all is something only the people involved truly know, without access to any contract or private arrangement. None of us confidently say that what rights or obligation each party has. Those are matters that will actually depend on the facts and necessarily the law itself. What has been circulating online are claims that Claris was being paid very little amount of money. However, those are allegations from social media, discussions, and Claris herself has not publicly confirmed them. In fact, he has largely remained silent about the entire situation. That is why I believe it will make more sense for everyone to separate peaceful and move on rather than continue creating conflict. Claris now has her own YouTube channel and has an opportunity to build her own future. Many supporters believe that should be the main focus. Even so, the online debate has not ended. Every day, people continue arguing, taking sides, and creating new speculation. Even Lynette KE has not come on camera and say the part of story. Claris herself has not come on camera, say the part of her story. All of them have decided, let them remain silent. The only thing I've seen online, some people coming on camera claiming a lot of allegations. I've seen even some people saying that the families have been divided because some reactors go to the other side. I've seen the people who perceive them to be positive, they have come out with a lot of allegation. And let me just say this to my subscribers. I've seen one of them coming to my YouTube channel and say that it is only somebody called Mary has the true story about the kind of reaction that is making, because you know, in this YouTube channel, we have people who support the evil things that are being done with people who see themselves as bigger YouTubers. And that is the matter of fact. When some of the likes of the JT podcast, Masubo One, Coco Mama, Director Kelvo, and so many other, remember, this battle was not being fought by only the faces or what we see on camera. There is a lot of people behind this success story about the independence of Claris. Yeah, there are so many faces, including the subscribers who are financing. When you see these people maybe traveling from one point to another, yeah, most of it, for those who really understand how these YouTube street operate, most of these most of these support come directly from the subscribers themselves. So for those who maybe, especially the subscribers who maybe they have come to my channel, I saw even somebody in the morning say that that voice is not for Lynette KE. The reaction about the conversation between Gintu and Lynette KE. Somebody came and said this voice is not for Lynette KE. Let me just tell you this, yeah. That voice belongs to her. You know, we have some people who behave like they know everything in this world, yeah? You just take the story the way it has been said on camera. When you want to bring in some of the new allegation, rubbishing that this voice, rubbishing these claims, yeah. Even I saw somebody saying that this issue, we are not even supposed to discuss about it, yeah. Let me just respond to that individual telling you, like, what did you come to do? You came to watch this content. So that means even for you, you're much interested in knowing how this story goes, yeah? That is why you are yapping, jumping from one YouTube channel to another, because you want to grasp the kind of rumors. I myself, I don't do rumors. I bring facts the way they are. Leaving that aside, even so, the online debate has not ended. Every day, people continue arguing, taking sides and creating new speculation. Some people have even joked about the court orders and the lawsuit. Personally, I don't think going to court will necessarily solve everything. Legal disputes can be very expensive, time-consuming, and emotionally draining. They can also damage relationships that may never recover, because we have seen people there before. They were having differences, but because they said, let us put our difference aside, let us continue working as a team. That is something like in a normal coexistence, yeah? And I don't know why Africans are against their fellow Africans. Why human beings are against their fellow human beings. I don't know why this vice, we can really see it being experienced in a normal coexistence ecosystem, yeah? If lawsuit were ever filed, both sides would likely to have a legal representation and present their own evidence. Have seen some people saying that Claris need to get lawyers to help her in this case. And let me also say this. Even Lynette KE will get lawyers for her sake. So this means it will be a court battle and court battle. Lawyers will be paraded. These lawyers will need money. Yeah, they need money at the end of the day. So let us not bring in speculation, because some people belong to Team Claris, some people still belong to Lynette KE. Then we are trying to see one side of the story without looking at all sides of the story. Let us be realistic. Until then, it is only speculations, and we should avoid treating rumors as fact. Unfortunately, this situation has also affected family relationship. There has been claims online that some relatives are unhappy and have contacted various content creators and reactors. However, these reports have not been independently verified, so it is important not to jump into conclusion. And at the end of the day, I think the focus should be on the future rather than the past. Claris has her own platform. Give her time to develop the platform. She has supporters who believe in her. She has an opportunity to build something under her own name. That should be the priority. I've seen some people are rubbishing about Jihan Sharif, saying that Jihan Sharif, she's posting videos that are meant for Claris. Let me not find myself in the same shoes, like this is what is happening. I don't know what is happening behind the scene. I don't know. You know, everybody is trying to eat from the same people. Even for the reactors, we are trying to eat from the actually from the same host. Yeah, Claris is our host. Lynette, she's our host. So some people are trying to eat from both sides, yeah, of which, when it comes to reaction, we react on what is published in the public domain. Let me tell those people who are saying that we should leave this thing alone. The only way for leaving this thing alone, as much as we get more developments, we have to react to what is being developed, so that makes us that this story won't last maybe today or tomorrow. Hopeful the people involved will look the bigger picture and move on Let Claris do her own video. Even yesterday, she never posted any video. And a lot of people have been asking, will court orders solve the Claris African village life drama? Let me say this. Instead of focusing on personalities, I want us to focus on this bigger picture. The law, fairness, freedom of expression, ownership, and whether going to court is really the best solution. Over the last few days, many viewers have been discussing the possibility of legal action surrounding the Claris and AVL story. According to JT Podcast public comments, some subscribers have contacted him suggesting that legal steps should be taken, including discussions about court orders and reporting channels to YouTube. Those comments have created many questions. Can a court order force or someone to remove all video? Can YouTube simply shut down a channel because people reported it? What rights do content creators actually have? And perhaps the biggest question of all, will going to court solve the problem, or will it create even more conflict? Those are questions we will explore today. First, it is important to separate emotions from the law. The internet often reacts so quickly. People choose sides. People become so emotional. People want immediate justice, but courts do not make decisions based on emotions. Court makes decisions based on evidence, contracts, witnesses, documents, applicable laws. If two people work together creating videos, the legal question can become complex. Who owned the channel? Who filmed the videos? Who edited them? Who uploaded them? Were there written agreements? Were there verbal agreements? What permissions were given at that time? These questions matter because every legal case depends on its specific facts. Another important point in YouTube is YouTube itself. Many people believe if you have enough viewers report a channel, YouTube will automatically remove it. That is not how the system normally works. YouTube generally reviews reports against its community guideline and copyright issues. A channel is not normally removed simply because many people disagreed with it or submit reports. How many channels have been reported to YouTube, but no action has been taken? How many people have reported Maxwell Lumumba to YouTube, but up to now, YouTube has not done anything? This tells us that reports still need to identify actual policy violation. Or likewise, if someone believes their copyrighted materials or image right has been infringed, there are legal and platform processes available, but the outcome depends on the facts, the applicable law, and the evidence provided. That is why it is important to avoid treating online rumors as legal conclusion. The internet may deliver opinions, court examine evidence. Those are two different things. Personally, I believe every person involved should remember something important. Relationships can be damaged much faster than they can be repaired. Court cases often take time, they cost money, they create stress. Sometimes, even after judgment, relationships never fully recover. That is why many legal disputes are resolved through discussion or mediation before reaching trials. If people can communicate respectfully and find common ground, everyone may benefit. Another important point is Claris herself. From what is publicly known, she has largely remained silent while many others have debated a situation online. Sometimes silence is misunderstood. Sometimes it is simply a personal choice. We don't know what is happening behind the scene. Maybe what has been discussed by some of these YouTubers, this is just an echo of what Claris herself tells them behind the scene. Whatever the reason, it reminds us that we should be very careful not to put words into someone else's mouth. As we continue, let me say this about the law generally weighs about ownership, YouTube dispute, and why many experts encourage dialogue before litigation, because at the end, the goal should not simply be winning an argument. The goal should be finding a solution that allows everyone to move forward. This approach actually keeps us moving. And let me say this. What does the law say about YouTube videos, consent, and ownership? In this part, I'll be very careful because this is one of the biggest questions people keep on asking, that can someone demand that all videos be removed simply because they no longer want to be associated with a channel? The answer is not always straightforward. Every case depends on its own facts. If someone voluntarily appeared in videos years ago, a court will likely want to know exactly what happened at that time. Was there permission to record? Was there permission to publish? Was there any agreement about how the videos will be used in future? Was there any payment or other arrangement? Those are the kinds of questions that really matter a lot. Many people think a written contract is the only agreement recognized by the law. That is not always true. In many legal systems, oral agreements can also be valid. However, the challenge is proving exactly what was agreed between Claris and Lynette KE. If there is no written agreement and no clear evidence of a verbal agreement, it becomes much harder for either side to prove their evidence, including messages, emails, witnesses, the conduct of the parties, and other surrounding circumstances. This is why people should avoid making conflict or making confident legal conclusion based on online or a social media discussion. Another issue people have raised is all about payment. Some online commentators claim that Claris was underpaid. Others disagree. The important point is that from public information, there are claims that have not been confirmed by Claris herself unless those directly involved choose to speak or present evidence. Outsiders cannot know the full story. The other time when Claris came on camera and she was very excited, the only thing that Claris said is that I'm so happy and I'm excited to be very much independent. Any money that will be made through this content creation will be going directly to my account. That is what Claris said. That is why it is important to distinguish between opinion and evidence. I've heard people saying that already I've consulted a lawyer and a lawyer said these, and these. Let me say these categorically. All those lawyers, all those advocates, all of them, they want to take this case because at the end of the day, they know there is charges. I've already heard one of them saying that I won't charge anything in this case. And let me just say this. There is actually nothing comes for free. At the end of the day, you'll be told that today we have to go and represent this court. You have to give us the fuel to fuel our cars. The next time you'll be told that this is happening. You have to pay for that. So let us avoid anything about court and everything. Let us talk about YouTube, because I've heard people saying that, or some people believe that if enough viewers report a channel, YouTube will automatically delete it. That is generally not how the system works. YouTube reviews reports against its own policies. If a report does not identify a genuine violation of those policies, repeated reporting alone does not normally result in a YouTube or a channel being removed. The same applies to copyright complaint. Copyright is a legal issue, not simply a popularity context. A complaint normally has to identify specific copyright material and follow the platform procedures. False or abusive complaint can also have consequences. So, before encouraging mass reporting, people should think carefully about the potential impact. For those who have ever reported a channel, there is a section where YouTube itself tells you that if this information will be found out to be false or abusive, your channel is the one that will be taken down. So let us be very careful of any measure that should be taken. Another important question is this: who actually owns a YouTube video? Is it Lynette KE or is it Claris? Ownership is not always determined by who appears on camera. It can depend on many factors, such as who created the content, who filmed it, who edited it, who uploaded it, and what agreement existed between the people involved in this discussion. So that is why every dispute has to be examined individually. There is rarely a one-sized or a size fits all the answer. If this matter were ever to be reached in court, the judge will not decide where, actually the judge won't come and say that, or not decide based on which side has the loudest supporters online. The court will examine evidence, hear both sides, and apply the relevant law. That is how justice intended to work. My advice to everyone, follow this story, is simple. Do not pressure people into legal battle because of emotion. Do not assume that every disagreement must end in court. Sometimes the most effective solution is respectful dialogue. Put everybody down and they reach out amicably. Sometimes the best outcome is allowing each person to continue building their own future independently, because I've seen Claris herself has decided, let me do my own videos and build my channel independently. Lynette KE, the last time I was checking her YouTube channel, I saw her harvesting maize. So that tells her that she has decided, let me remain silent. Let the people who are talking, to make matters fact, have seen a lot of allegations. I've seen even some other people bringing a lot of conflicting ideas. Nobody is happy. And this is the thing, nobody is happy about the entire situation. There is this girl called Christine. She is not happy Claris is independent. The reason is this: when this issue escalated, the Christian mother's house was being renovated, so everything had to take a pause. So this shows us that Christine, she's not happy. That is why she's making a lot of calls. She's actually accusing and bringing in Mary TV to this entire conversation. I saw somebody coming to my comment section and talking like Mary TV is the only person who is speaking a lot of information about it. Let me just say this. Mary, she's airing the grievances that Christine herself is airing actually to her because she's bitter. The house that was being renovated, it is no longer being renovated because Claris and Lynette K.E., they are not in good terms. For his own brother, that is James, because James and Christine, they are brothers and sisters. So James are seen like, I will benefit directly from my wife rather than taking side with my family, because if Lynette K.E. is the one who was helping my mom and now they are not in good terms with my wife, this makes me like I am not supposed to go contrary to the agreement or contrary to my wife, because I'll reap big. Yeah, renovation is something that can be done and it be done. Yeah, but creating a channel, this shows a long-term impact. That is why James himself has sat down and he has thought about taking this side. Yeah, this about renovation, this is a short-term impact that if I can do today, tomorrow, and that will be the end. But when I build a channel with my wife, I'll be celebrating the fruits of this channel, because at the end of the day, all of us will be having a say, because, okay, James will be the cameraman, editing and uploading. The wife, who is now Claris, will be the actor herself. So that means this will be a family thing, and at the end of the day, the fruitful, and that is money, yeah? James can request some of the money to go and renovate the house of the mom. Claris herself can see what he can do with the money to help the community, to help herself out, and even to help the husband. So this is something like we have to look at the bigger picture of it. The last allegation was about somebody was being abused, somebody was being beaten because of all this conflict of which I personally, I don't support violence. Let those who want to fight themselves. But for me, I'm not going to stand and see all this impunity being discussed. Remember, when I came on camera, I said something here. Being independent is something that is very good. And that is why I said, when Claris has that independence, it plays an important role. So now Claris now has her own channel. African Village Life continues with its own audience. Perhaps the greatest success will not be seeing one side being defeated, but seeing both sides able to move forward peacefully. Because at the end, YouTube should be about creating content, building communities, and inspiring people, not turning every disagreement into a courtroom battle. And let me say this. Why or will court order solve the Claris or this entire situation? Because I've seen people actually talking about this. And let me talk or ask more important question. Even if someone has the legal right to go to court, is that always the best solution? The answer is not necessarily. One thing many people forget is that going to court is a legal right, but it is also a serious decision. A lawsuit is not just about proving who is right or who is wrong. It requires time. We have seen court session. Imagine, Claris, instead of doing videos, you are here running up and down court battles, and at the end of the day, you will waste time. Money will be used in these all cases. Yeah, evidence will be required, emotional energy. So it can affect relationship. It can affect the future opportunities. It can affect the channel themselves. That is why in many disputes, lawyers first encourage people to try to resolve their differences through discussion, negotiation, or mediation before taking the matter to trial. Now, think about this situation from a broader perspective. From what has been shared publicly, Claris has her own YouTube channel, so she's creating content under her own name and has received support from many viewers. African Village Life also continues to operate its own channel because I've seen from both sides they continue uploading their videos. If both sides now have the opportunity to build independently, then perhaps the most important question is not who wins, but rather than how can everyone move forward. Many people on social media have encouraged legal action. Others have encouraged mass reporting of channels. I have people who have contacted me and said, Max, I've already reported the channel. Still others have called for one side to be punished. But social media is not a courtroom. People online, often based on emotions, loyalty, and incomplete information. Courts, on the other hand, are expected to consider evidence and the law. That is why viewers should be very careful not to pressure others into law action based only on rumors or personal opinion. Another issue worth discussing is the effect of online conflict. When a disagreement continues for months, it often spreads beyond the people directly involved. Families become divided. Right now, I've given us a situation where already family has been divided because of the same issues. Friends now choose side, supporters argue with one another, content creators make videos responding to each other. I personally, some people telling me that, Max, what you need to do here, don't speak about the same allegation. Let me tell them, like, choose to watch, choose not to watch. The action has to continue, and that is the reality about this game. And let me say this, not every disagreement should end into courtroom. Not every misunderstanding has to become a YouTube war. Not every problem can be solved by reporting a channel. Throughout this discussion, we have looked at the legal side, the emotional side, and the practical side of this story. We have also seen how quickly public opinion can influence the direction of an online debate. But the truth is, none of us expect the people directly involved know every detail on what happened behind the scenes. This is why we should be very careful not to present assumptions as fact. If these are a legal issue, let the people involved seek proper legal advice and allow the court to take its course. If there is a misunderstanding, let them try to resolve them respectfully. If there is no longer a working relationship, then perhaps the healthiest part is for each side to continue building its own future. Looking at the situation today, Claris now owns something that she has been salivating over years. She has supporters who believe in her. She has the opportunity to tell her own story and create her own content. AVL also has the opportunity to continue producing content for its own audience. Success is not measured by bringing another person down. Success is measured by what you build. Many subscribers have asked whether reporting channel or seeking court orders is the right path. My view is simple. Before encouraging what we are now saying here, what we are talking about, the legal action, ask yourself this: will this truly solve the problem, or will it simply create another conflict? Ask yourself, what if Claris and Lynette KE go to court, then Lynette KE wins this court case. What will happen? So sometimes legal action is necessary. There are situations where court exists to protect people's rights, but whether legal action is appropriate depends on the specific fact and evidence, not on public pressure or social media campaign. Yeah? Most of these people who are just lamenting there in the comment section, telling people, making constant call, they are not YouTubers. They don't know what it takes to build a platform. Let me encourage these people. To Claris, if she ever watches these, or if somebody is watching these on behalf of Claris, because I know some people, they are there as informants. They'll take the information to the relevant people. So, Claris, keep building your own platform. Stay focused on your goals. Let your work speak louder than controversy. To Village Life, continue creating content for the audience that support your work. Focus on creating quality content rather than responding to every online debate. I've seen Lynette has not come to respond to anything. Claris also the same. And to every content creator watching this video, this story reminds us that an important lesson: whenever you work with friends, families, or business partners, communicate clearly about expectation if necessarily. Put important agreements in written. It protects everyone and prevents future misunderstanding. Finally, to all the viewers, do not let YouTube drama become more important than real life. Support us. Choose peace where possible. Respect different opinions. Allow people to grow. Allow people to change. Allow people to move forward. Because sometimes the greatest victory is not winning a case. It is finding peace. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts respectful in the comment section. For those who would like to join the membership is still there. You can join willingly. For those who would like to go and support my other YouTube channel, that is Vibe with Lumumba, let us go subscribe to that YouTube massively. Let us make it happen. Until next time, stay informed, stay respectful, and take care of yourself. Having come to the end of this discussion, goodbye for now. Let us meet in the next discussion. Goodbye.